From Belleville Lake to Willow Run, history has transformed in Van Buren Township from a farmland to a hub of innovation, industry, and recreation. Our Downtown Development Authority keeps our community vibrant. From Harris Park to improvement projects, it's about honoring our past while connecting our present.
With Harris Park being established, having the birthday celebration to really bring light and give us the opportunity to tell the story of the Harris family and what the park means and what it brought to the community as far as the legacy and the history that's here. So the park is on 1.1 acres, is the homestead that was formerly the Harris family. When the family comes back to visit, and they tell you the stories, this was my bedroom, this is where we had our dinners. That's really cool to hear about and just kind of like to picture it, knowing that this is the floor plan that was once for, one of the first Black families that were actually landowners in the township.
My name is Suzanne Harris. I am the eldest daughter of Albert and Francis. He would just be so proud of the fact that this has been established in the Harris name.
We'd just like to thank the Downtown Development Authority on behalf of the Harris family for having the courage to tell our story and to be able to provide the community with this beautiful setting.
One of the things that's really cool is he made woodworking and made toys and did tours for thousands of kids from church and school to come through.
When he opened his grandpa's toy shop, I remember Lauren and I got to do his lemonade stand. And he sat there, he had to sign out by the street. He was so proud of his toys, and we had our lemonade because Grandpa was going to sell all these things that we just made.
And he loved making those toys. After he died, I can't even count how many hundreds of toys I packed up to give away.
And so making sure that we can talk about and tell that story to our residents, it's preserving the history and the legacy, and there's just so much here to talk about. So since it's opening Harris Park in 2020 to the public, we really tried to make sure that we were utilizing this to bring our residents and community here together. So we've had a lot of fun over the last couple of years, and each year we bring something a little new. I think midweek music is probably my favorite. I love seeing everyone bring in their chairs, they're ready to gather in the park. They grab something cold from the ice cream truck, and then they can't help but get up and dance to the beat.
Mary Coburn has put the DDA and Harris Park on the map. Her thoughtfulness, her dedication, her professionalism is unequaled in the state. Very lucky to have her. Our parks bring together people for play, for learning, for giving back.
We're always looking to make your park experiences more enjoyable.
When other communities are drawn to your events and want to play in your facilities, you know you're doing something right.
We live in Wayne, Michigan.
Westland.
Live in Augusta Township.
We live in Detroit.
That's how you build a destination, not just a hometown.
With the community center celebrating its first full year, you can feel the excitement.
This building isn't just a space, it's a vibrant part of the community. It's a place for children to learn and play, for adults to stay active, and for seniors to thrive.
Those 25,000 check-ins aren't just numbers on a counter. They represent real people walking through our doors for all kinds of reasons.
So the goal is some family workouts to stretch and get loose, and then do some individual stuff. He likes basketball. She's a gymnast. My wife and I are working out just to health and wellness. It's a good place to be.
When we plan events at the Van Buren Community Center, we do it with the whole community in mind. Kite Day was such a beautiful reminder of the simple joys that bring families and people together. You could look across the field and see every generation represented.
Whether it's Belleville Lake, the Iron Belt Trail, or public art, these programs build on community pride. The Belleville Area Museum is our story. Every exhibit, every artifact, every event connects us to where we've been and where we're going.
I'm a history buff, love museums. The way that you guys were doing these lectures, I was like all over it. They've been great.
What's really cool about the Belleville Area Museum is the history doesn't just start with what's inside it, it actually starts with the building itself. The building the museum's in is Van Buren's original Township Hall. It was built in 1875. That means that this year, 2025, is the 150th anniversary. You can see our permanent exhibit space, which we have just recently updated with our French Landing Dam, which is celebrating its 100th anniversary this year. It was built in 1925, and that is actually what created Belleville Lake.
For 100 years, Belleville Lake has been where neighbors gather, where families build memories, and where our community comes alive, whether that's through recreation on the water or major events along the shore.
Our senior center is more than a building. It's a lifeline for independence, friendship, and support. Our seniors continue to lift each other and inspire the whole community.
With just over 900 members in our senior center, it's that trust that we build as a staff, the whole staff, with the seniors that keep them coming in. We, I think, have successfully hit, social needs for people, physical, nutritional. We're trying to expand our daily congregate meal program because we feel it's so important for people to have a place to go to. We want it to feel like a home away from home.
I live alone, so coming to the senior gets me to visit with other people and get to know more friends. I come so that I have the exercise time as well as the lunch time, and it really keeps me from just being alone all the time.
Enhancing people's lives is what we do. I will use Meals on Wheels as an example. People are shut in. They get their meals from us, our wonderful volunteers, 4 times a week. And that is some of the only connection that people have. That's how we help. The Van Buren Township community should feel so fortunate to have the people that we have here volunteering. They will deliver food to the same person for 2 years. Something will happen to that. People, it's kind of sad, it's not always a happy thing that they do, but the one thing that I've noticed is that the other volunteers pick them up.
So God has been so good to me, I want to encourage other people to be grateful and joyful and touch someone else. But if we can help somebody along the way, then our living won't be in vain. I am very grateful, and I enjoy each and every one of them.
We have great people that lives in this community that don't mind helping each other. I think that's the difference between this community and a lot of other communities that you see.
We have a ball here, a lot of great friends and people I have met in the last 3 years, and I am very glad this is in my backyard to enjoy.
You can tell the heart of a township by how it treats its elders, and in Van Buren, our heart is strong. Municipal service is about building the foundation. Businesses, homes, infrastructure, all working together. Every project, every development is an investment in our future.
Van Buren Township's investing in our sidewalk network. We secured a $300,000 grant from Wayne County. Our DDA has received a grant from SEMCOG for $1.7 million.
Van Buren Township specializes in making strategic partnerships. There's nothing more important than our partnership with Aerotropolis. Aerotropolis brings in the power of the Michigan Economic Development Council and brings millions of dollars to our community.
At the end of the day, economic development is a competitive sport. What we do at Aerotropolis is we work with the township to make the case for Van Buren. So having 2 expressways, access to Ann Arbor and Detroit, and a community that is willing to work hand in hand with the corporate entity to help them grow is important. And I think that's why you're seeing a lot of good economic development announcements here in Van Buren Township, because you got all the right ingredients to grow the economic base.
Handful of companies that are getting ready to build in Van Buren Township: Chick-fil-A, Atlantis, Cabot, and then Sheetz is going to begin construction fall. Probably the largest project that we have going on right now is Stellantis, which is going to be located on Ecorse Road between Beck and Denton Road. Going to be 500 new jobs and a very large industrial development in the community. The developers did a very good job in working with the township officials and working with the community, keeping the truck traffic on the main routes near Ecorse Road.
Van Buren Township Board of Trustees and the Supervisor's Office are very intentional about maintaining not only the rural character, suburban character, but also the Belleville corridor and the retail commercial corridor. And so when we talk about economic development opportunities, from a light industrial perspective, it's adjacent to Willow Run. When you talk about rural development opportunities, it's always south of 94 and the lake. This is a lake community, and you want to have that lake amenity where people can come and relax, enjoy the lake, the recreational opportunities, without having to deal with congestion.
It's a magnificent honor to recognize Van Buren of Redevelopment Ready Communities designation.
Redevelopment Ready Communities program is a statewide certification that supports communities to become development ready and competitive in today's economy.
The first thing Redevelopment Ready Communities did to us was it made us go out to the public and start having open houses, having workshops, having people come in and tell us what they wanted in their communities. And they started giving us more and more and more ideas, and the idea that we had was a good idea. But the idea that was created was a great idea.
I think that's an important part of growing your community, is get input from your residents before you institute anything.
I'm very proud of our police department, one of the finest police departments in the state of Michigan. And they find community policing extremely important, and they do it. One of the best examples is our school resource officer.
Mi nombre es Juan Vargas, soy el policía de las escuelas. He trabajado con Van Buren Township por 2 años y medio. My name is Officer Vargas. I've been with Van Buren Township for 2.5 years. I've been the school resource officer for 1 year. Building this relationship with them so young, I think it allows them to not see us like we're bad. We care, and we're trying to make sure that they're safe, that we support everything they do, so I can make it to all the sports. I go to their football games, I go to the soccer games, I go to tennis games, I go to bowling games. If I'm available and there's nothing else going on in Township, I'll be at those games.
Go Tigers!
We go through each school and we take some time with reading books. As you can tell, I have an accent. I'm originally from Colombia, so I don't do too much public speak, reading in public. It was great. There's a lot of kids that I just moved here from South American countries, Central American countries, and they look at you, oh, you're a cop. Yeah. Regardless of where you come from, how you speak, what your first language is, you could be whatever you want to be. And I tell people all the time, my English is not perfect, because it's not, but I'm here. Last year, we had a student who ran away from home. She didn't want to come to school. She was having issues at home. Eventually, we did locate her. We had a good conversation with her. She told us why she didn't want to come to school. She told us what the issues were. Our conversation went more so trying to guide her through finishing school and her future, what it was going to be later on if she continued to come to school. Next week, she was back in school. She went back home, and she did good. She graduated last year.
When I first got here, I said I wanted to win wars, and everybody laughed. Now we get them almost every year. This is Van Buren Township, built on history, thriving in the present, ready for the future.